Every morning, he was the first to arrive. He put on his uniform, checked his bucket, grabbed his rags, and sprayed cleaning solution in the empty hospital corridors. No one really noticed the janitor. He was part of the background, like the glowing lights overhead or the silence before an emergency call. One day, as he wiped down the handrails in one of the long hallways, he heard light footsteps. Turning around, he saw a little girl, small, with 2 pigtails, wearing a blue dress with white polka dots. She stood there, watching him, her eyes filled with curiosity, as if she were looking at a magician rather than just a man with a rag and a spray bottle. She came every day, silently. She would simply stand nearby while he worked, sometimes watching as he blew soap bubbles from the droplets, as if it were a game. He began smiling at her, drawing funny faces on the polished windows with his finger, placing the spray bottle in front of her like a magical artifact. He didn't know she couldn't speak. And he didn't realize that this was no longer just a child's game. It was a real inner struggle for a little person who had lost her voice after a trauma. One day, he crouched down in front of her, handed her the bottle, and she laughed. Then she said something, unclear, quiet, but it was a word. He didn't understand how important that moment was, but he smiled back, as usual. Behind them, in the doorway, stood a woman. She watched, holding her breath, and then her face changed. Her lips trembled, her eyes filled with tears. It was the girl's mother. She had been observing from afar during every visit, hoping but never interfering. And now, it had happened. What doctors and psychologists couldn't achieve, he had. She didn't approach right away. She just stood there, covering her mouth with her hand, allowing herself to cry, not from pain, but from happiness, for the first time in so long. She remembered this man, modest, unnoticed. Yet it was he, with his simplicity, kindness, and patience, who had given her daughter back her voice.